Thank you. Everybody hear me all right? How's everybody doing? See, I always get these sessions right after lunch, so hopefully you guys aren't falling asleep on me. So I'm Tim Sandage. I'm a senior manager with our Global Security and Compliance Acceleration Program. What that is a specialized program that helps our partners get through compliance and security certifications quickly. We cover all different industries, financial, public sector, commercial, and so forth, and we cover all over the globe. How many people have heard of our original name, ATO and AWS? A few of you have heard it. So we had to change our name here a few years ago because obviously as we started working out in Europe and Asia, people would come to us, what's an ATO? They didn't know what an ATO was, so they're like, so we had to change it. But at any rate, we're going to talk to you about today is we have our very first, how many people have heard of the FedRAMP equivalence? So we have a very first one that went through with one of our partners, Secure IT, sitting right here, took Prevail through, which is an encrypted email. Anybody from Prevail here? We invited them. Where are they at? But this is a significant, opportunity to really highlight, here's a cloud service provider that went through this, relatively new, and if any of you worked in the defense industrial base space, you know that we've been working in or around 800-171, DFARS, now this thing that might be CMMC, and all of these different variations that we've looked at over the last 10 years. This was really the first one that we could actually get a semi, if not a formal certification out of, and so it was pretty significant, working with Secure IT and Prevail on this and seeing how it worked and some of the capabilities that they had to go through to really make sure that it hit the mark and so forth, because some of the key things is you really can't have any findings. That was one of the surprising things. Any of you that have ever done, NIST 853 type audits or certifications know that, a lot of times you put things in poems and you put you put risk treatments in place and so forth. So this was a little bit of a higher bar. So it was an interesting, opportunity to really firsthand get educated on what this is, how it's going to look, and then who actually qualifies or who needs this. And so that was the other piece, is that this is really focused on cloud service providers. Whereas if you're a defense industrial based contractor, then it's 171 or CMMC or what have you. But again, one of the key factors is it's really still somewhat confuses and muddies the water. So before I move on, I want to just give a little bit more background. So Secure IT is one of our founding partners within our program. They focus on FedRAMP audits, CMMC 171 type alignments, and then Prevail, at the time that they went through this, wasn't in our program, but we've worked with them a lot around encrypted email, encrypted file share, but they're now also in our program, and so we can couple their services inside other bundles. Like if you've been around and seen our program, we actually do a lot of end-to-end bundles where we help partners and customers get marketplace listings and list their services end to end from, hey, this is the SI or the consulting partner, this is the technology partner, here's the audit partner, and you have a complete solution. And so, not to put Dave on the spot, but that's what we're going to do next with this thing. So a little bit more background on the FedRAMP equivalency. Like I said, it's one of those things where, it is focused specifically on cloud service providers, and it does follow a lot of the same, 853, controls at the moderate level. Like I said, a lot of cases, though, you can't necessarily just carry some risks with this certification. And so that was one of the things. And then you do have a certifying official, which was the AB board, correct, Dave? So you do have an external, approval authority that you have to make sure that as they certify this environment, that they're having the AB board sign off on this, and so that they can operate, as designed. So, like I indicated earlier, the struggles that I have with a lot of this is that how many people have been in government, worked around in government. So I'm retired Air Force, so I can pick on the government. At least that's what they told me. But one of the things that happens in government is it takes about 10 years for things to go into place. So you think about where the 171 services came out of. That was back in the Obama administration. Was the first executive order and the OMB memo that actually put that forward as how do we strengthen our defense contracting base and our industrial base. But you look at all the iterations of the different orders or memos or frameworks or attempts. And we've actually within AWS, we've actively worked on this for quite a few years, thinking, okay, 171 is the next great thing, or DFARS is the next great thing, or CMMC is the next great thing. So at least this is relatively new, and we already have a good, solid execution around it. And so it is encouraging. I just saw a thing today that CMMC is supposedly, again, getting ratified in 2025. So we'll wait and see. Don't hold your breath, because you might pass out. But, it's just one of those things where, these are the pieces that my team works on and make sure that we work with our qualified partners. We've got a few partners in here that are FedRAMP 3 PAOs that we work with, Coal-Fire, Fortrim, and so forth, that we make sure that we have a good group of vetted partners that can help through these different certifications and so forth. And so that was where we really wanted to highlight this one, because it was obviously net new. It's something that nobody had really seen before. And so, this was an opportunity to highlight what Secure IT had done, getting Prevail through this very first FedRAMP equivalence opportunity. But it's also the other thing to highlight our program of how we make sure that our partners are vetted and capable of working within these environments. And so, how many people have worked with our programs or worked with some of our program partners? A few of you guys. So that was, again, the other piece is that we're always looking for, how do we make sure that we get the right partners with the right capabilities, to be able to help our other customers and partners. And that's why we have, security and consulting partners, we have MSSPs, we have ISVs or technology partners, and then we have auditors within our program. And then my team is, formally, most of us are security auditors or security assessors or engineers. Like I even came from the internal security and compliance space within AWS. So we have a lot of experience and background to help shape this so that we can get customers through these different verticals. And then we also, as I said, we have quite a few accelerators. How many people have seen our compliance bundles? A few of you. So, those are key resources that we continue to release, and especially across global organizations and global industries and focuses, like in Australia, APAC, and so forth. So we continue to iterate. And then something that we net new added this last year was our customer compliance guides. How many people have used our customer compliance guides? So the person that was managing that on the internal security and compliance team now came to my team, so we actually manage those internal of our team and so forth. So a few resources is really, how do we help you? How do you engage our teams? How do you engage our partners? So typically we have an intake process within our program that you can, fill out an intake and say, hey, I need to get through FedRAMP equivalence in this case, or I need to get through, FedRAMP or DoD SRG, whatever the case may be. Maybe you need to get through SOC 2 or ISO. But so you fill out this, intake process. We typically qualify you, have a 30-minute call to kind of qualify you and see what makes sense, because you may already have part of your environment built. You may already know enough to be dangerous about what you need for compliance and security, and so you just need some help. You just need some direct consulting help. Or maybe you don't want to do this in-house and you want to have somebody that has a managed service environment, and so you say, hey, I need to be able to just use a compliant platform for whatever the case may be and be able to move my resources and so forth into that. So from that is where we give you a recommendation of who are the partners that we can have you work with, and we start aligning you with those partners, as well as also help, try to drive your opportunity and help you through that process. And then we have ongoing support, like I said, with the CCGs. We continue to iterate those so that we're adding them not only for net new compliance frameworks, but as new services come out, even like our new services around AI, Bedrock and so forth, we're already writing CCGs related to those services so that as our customers are implementing those in their environments, they understand what are the different risk treatments that they need to be able to implement within those environments or within those use cases. And so lastly, and I realized I went faster than the 20 minutes that I was supposed to go, but at least we have some opportunity for questions if you guys. But before I open it up for questions, here's some resources for you guys that we've got various websites. Again, our regular website, our partner page that has all of the partners that are vetted and in our program. So you can go in and you can look up Secure IT, you can look up Telos, Infusion Points, Fortrim, Coal-Fire. If I missed anybody else in our program, that's Thorough Pass. So you can look up our partners in the program and find out, directly how can they help me, how can they help me achieve my goals of compliance and security. But then you can also look at our partner sites and our bundles. So again, the bundles continue to grow. We launched those at reInvent last year with about 17, 18 bundles. I think we're now up to 23, but we have about 20 in the pipe right now that are coming through, especially a lot of stuff over in Australia and over in Europe and so forth to really help with a lot of the different security regulations that are going on, as well as data privacy and data. See, I almost did it, didn't I? As well as data sovereignty. Yeah, they told me don't walk in front of that speaker, and I was like, oh, I could feel it. But so check out these resources. We also have a YouTube channel, so we put a lot of, it's the TikTok generation, so we put a lot of those 5-10 minute videos up there about what are some of our services and capabilities, what are some of our partners' services and capabilities, and then case studies. Obviously, one of the key things is turning a lot of our success into case studies, and even this Secure IT Prevail one that I just talked about today, that's the next step, is not only turn it into a case study, but move it into a bundle opportunity so that we can continue to help educate and advise people. So here's a few resources. Everything's QR codes. I'll leave this up. See if you guys want to, snap any of the QR codes and so forth. Any other questions, comments? All right. Well, as they say, I'm giving you back 5 minutes. But I'll be up here if you guys have questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.